Last week, I made a video about Jungian fish symbolism in The Sopranos. This week, I didn't feel like going back to The Sopranos. I finally got a chance to start watching Succession at the request over the past 3 years of friends and family, rather than the suggestion. And I finally took it up, and I've watched the first 2 episodes now, and I thought it'd be fun to give less first impressions than talk about some of the symbolism that I see as a writer in the show. And I'm really going to look at the names of the characters, because that's sort of the basis of everything else that stems from it. And the character aspects in the show are, at least the names are some of them are so obvious and likely intentional, and some of them are maybe not. But you've got the patriarch of the family is Logan Roy. And I Googled the name Logan, and in Gaelic it means hollow. So either that means like a hill and hollow, so a valley, a depression, or it means hollow, empty. And I think in this case it probably more means empty, and he's Scottish, so it's a fitting name. And then Roy is king in French, so hollow king. The patriarch of the family is a hollow king. He is constantly elevating and demoting people. He's confusing people. He keeps his own counsel. No one knows which way is up. Only he does. He'll cut people out of deals. He'll cut people in and out of his family trust, which is going to allow his billions presumably to flow to others after his death. So it's a very fitting name for him. And then his sort of right-hand son is Kendall Roy. And Kendall sounds a lot like Ken Doll, and he's sort of a pretty boy. He wants to take over the business. He was told he's going to take it over shortly. They were trying to draft a press release, at least he was. And then his dad says, yeah, it's going to be a few years away. You're not cut out for it. You've been in rehab. You skipped a business deal to come to my birthday lunch. You're just not cutthroat enough of it. You're a pretty boy yourself. He doesn't say that, the pretty boy part, but the name Kendall, Ken Doll, is certainly fitting. And then you have his brother, who's played by Kieran Culkin, who's Macaulay Culkin's brother, who looks so much like a friend of mine that I almost sent a picture to him saying, hey, are you in this show? But I didn't. I still should. So then you have, with him, Roman. Roman doesn't seem to take life seriously, but he's also very conniving. And the name Roman, I would think, is an allusion to Roman senators. You can think of senators plotting against Caesar to ultimately assassinate him. He doesn't seem like the Brutus. He wouldn't be the stabber necessarily, but he would certainly get involved in the palace intrigue of taking out a leader if given the opportunity. And he does a lot of behind-the-scenes maneuvering in the show, and that's really his spot. Then you have their sister, who is Siobhan. The name, I didn't even bother looking it up because she goes by a nickname, or an abbreviated name, which is Shiv. And what does she do throughout the show? She's constantly stabbing people in the back. She, unlike Roman, is not just maneuvering, but she's actually much more cutthroat than him. She takes life more seriously. She's willing to diss her boyfriend. She's willing to diss whoever. She puts people in the spot. She smacks her brother around. Shiv is a very fitting name for her. And then you have Craig or Greg. His name has meaning because Logan doesn't even know what the hell his name is when he comes over for the first time. It's his nephew or great nephew, and they call him by the wrong name, and his name doesn't mean much because he says, "Oh, you can call me either. It doesn't really matter." So he's so unconfident, unsure of himself that his name has no meaning. You could call him idiot, and he would go do a job for you, and that's essentially what happened. So I'm curious to see how the show develops. Everyone had said, most people at least I spoke to, said the initial episodes are really slow. I liked the palace intrigue side of it. I thought the character introductions were good. Again, I think the name choice symbolism there is pretty interesting, and I'm curious to see how the show plays out. I think I'll continue watching.